Is everything good? Think everything is good. Do I have... Where's my debugger? There we go. Okay, I think we're going to try to diagram again. This was a mistake when we did it the first time, but I think we actually need to diagram stuff right now. Okay, so the thing is that I need to communicate like what we're actually doing right now, and like what the problem is, because like it's an architectural thing at this point. So let me go ahead and pull up the and we'll try Dia. So, hold on, maximize, and then we'll make it smaller. Okay. So, the user wants to add breakpoints. You know what? No, diagramming is always a mistake. Alright, I mean, diagramming is not for me, I would say. So, here's the thing. The user wants to add and remove breakpoints. So, the user is going to, run the button, click, search or whatever, and it's going to hit a button or hit some kind of keystroke, and it's going to add a breakpoint to a list of breakpoints somewhere. Or not breakpoints, watches. We're talking about watches right now. It's going to add a watch, okay? And, I mean, it's not really like a watch point. It's more like a, display, it's a watch window, but we're not like, these aren't like GDB watch points. They're more like GDB display values, right? But it's a watch window in the sense of a, Visual Studio sense. And so we want to have this list of breakpoints or watch points or watching of watched expressions, I should say. And so right now, the way that the API was working was that the GUI would maintain a list of these watch points and basically just go ahead and call and try to evaluate them on the backend side, and the backend side would just cache the values so that subsequent calls to it would be very fast. So basically on the GUI side, you just had to like say, just give me all of these, lists or whatever. And I was sort of doing that so that it would basically fall into the realm of more of like it would basically be more of like the immediate mode GUI type of thing, where there isn't an explicit construction destruction of these watched values. It would just be like, you just ask for them, and if it would be slow if it had to go get them, or it would be fast if they were cached. And that would just, and so like from an API standpoint, it would all be the same. So, that's sort of like, so we're sort of running into a problem now, because we have this idea of these like stale values, right? Where GDB basically had made a list where GDB had already previously gotten the values of something that you were watching. And it's going to get rid of them because they've fallen out of scope or something. And I was thinking, well, maybe we don't want to actually get rid of those. Like, maybe HUMBUG shouldn't go ahead and free all of that data. Maybe we should just keep it until the user doesn't actually want to see that data anymore. So, the thing is that if multiple, the way that it's sort of keying in that expression, or identifying which a unique expression, is it's sort of it's matching the frame number, the thread number, and then the expression text. It's doing a circomp. All right. So, hypothetically, that's an error. That's a bug, because you can have multiple, so as far as GDB is concerned, even if something exists at the same frame number, frame index, and same thread ID, it may be a completely different stack frame, and thus would have a new value. So you can't reuse the old variable object. As soon as you leave that frame, that variable object is dead, as far as I can tell. So, I mean, of course, there's one thing I haven't tested is static variables. That could be an issue. That's a complication I just now thought of. So, or static, yeah. So static variables. Because those, you could theoretically watch those, and it would never matter where you were in the stack, or what stacks existed or not, because the static memory would always be the same. So that's an issue. Okay, so I think I might be overcomplicating this. So really, as far as the implementation goes, it's sort of like we're in a spot where it sort of doesn't make sense because the GUI is maintaining a list of watches and the backend is also maintaining a list of watches, and GDB itself is uh, maintaining a list of watches. So, like, there's a whole bunch of replicated state here that we should probably maybe call that a loss instead of a gain. Because, like, well, okay, let's look at this from the, well, and I guess the main reason I was doing it that way, because I sort of thought that, like, you would probably not be using the GUI. Like, I was also trying to, like, set up the back end for the non-GUI case. Like, you know, like, let's say you're using it as, you're making a tool or some sort of automation library or something. You know, you shouldn't have to, like, create a variable object. You know, you just want to be able to, like, evaluate an expression and call it done. That's all you want to do. So, and you don't want to have to, like, release, like, they say, go through the process of, like, all right, I'm creating the object, and now I'm, like, expanding it and all that stuff. So I don't know. I feel like making this API change might be a mistake, but I feel like we should write the code we know we need. That would make most sense for the need we have right now. And then we could look at it later and, like, try to see, like, oh, okay, so if you're using this as a library and you're not trying to list watches in a watch window, maybe we have a different API. Or maybe it'll be more obvious what to do at that point in time. So, I think what I'm going to do then is sort of move everything over to this idea of, you know, you're going to explicitly create a watch in the back end. Like, you know, when you run this like add watch thing, you're going to actually call into a function into the back end that's going to create one, instead of this whole, like, transparent thing where it's like, oh, well, we're just going to create one behind the scenes if you ask for it, and you know, delete it if you don't ask for it later or something like that. So that's what I think we're gonna do. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So, okay, I guess we should start with the GUI side and move on. Okay, so I'm kind of hesitant to try to. I wonder if I should just start from scratch as far as these rendering commands go, or this rendering stuff goes, because instead of trying to like figure out what's changed. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do like render watches old. Old here. And render watch expression old. Okay. So actually that's never mind, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so we've got this guy here. So I think one thing I should do before I get started is I should go ahead and just get these constructs here, these GUI side watch window item constructs, and I'm just going to change the name to generate compile errors wherever those are used. And over here, right? Yeah. Okay, all right. So I think we're at the point in time where we sort of care about where we're at. Okay, so okay, so the first thing that changes here is, hey Emil, how are you? So the first thing that changes here is that we're gonna have a thing here that's like where's our add watch functionality? Here we've got button. So here's the thing that actually adds the watch, right? And I need to figure out a way to like make my computer less distracting. I'd probably get more work done if that were the case. But like everything has notifications. That's something I need to work on. Note to self. Okay. So so this guy is going to change, and we're going to replace this with like here. We're just going to do HB dot create the add watch. All right. Or well, we should namespace it. So let's do watch add. Okay. And so we've got this watch expression. And we're not going to do the allocation on our side. It's going to allocate stuff on its side. All right. And then we have, what is it? We've got this idea of a selected frame. Okay, so in this case, if... Oh, okay. Okay, so we still want this logic here, where it's like, so like in like U16 thread equals 0, U16 frame equals 0, and then we'll do thread frame Alright, okay, so if floating is not selected, then we're gonna put it to a frame. Okay. And so, and this frame ID here has more to do with what it is currently, because frame doesn't have a universal meaning in GDB, because it always counts from every time you nest into a function or call into a function, the frame numbers change because they go down. It always counts up from the end. So that's kind of one thing. That's kind of one of the reasons why, sort of changing all this. Okay, so there we go. Adding a watch. 0 means floating. And we gotta do thread frame. Okay. And let's see here. Yeah. And then oh, nice. Thanks for the tweet, Captain Kraft. Hey, Captain Kraft. How are you doing today? Are you settled in? from moving? I'm assuming you are. Traitor. Because I'm... Hey, you don't support C++. Nice. Have you seen this thing? It's a gigantic graphical mess. But, here, I'm going to show off a little bit to Captain Craft. So, let's see here. I'm just gonna like brag on like the things that recently are good. The so I've got this search system now where I can like if I do like main tab search, it searches for symbols for things. Like you know, like if I want the main function or something, it'll be like right here. Or if I want to do like, I've got a function that's like nested function. It's like nested. And then I hit tab again and it'll do a search for it. I mean, there's like 2 levels of search. And then it'll just take me right to that. So that's neat. I guess that's more of a GUI feature than like a debugger engine feature. So, and then, so that's that. And then I've also got like watches here where I can do searching for watches. Like, so like global. So like there's nothing in the cache. So I hit tab and it'll like generate the cache. And then, you know, variable 5. And then I've got a watch added for that. So yeah, so that's the kind of the main reason why I like having why I think all of the debugging projects, you know, together is a good idea. Is because we all have different approaches and we'll come up with different features at different times. Like, GDB is garbage. I'm just going to say that. Well, I mean, not garbage. I'm just saying that because I have recent frustrations with GDB, but the point is that you don't have to deal with any of that. So that's a big advantage that you have. But also, you know, there's a lot of little things that GDB does that I'm sure will take a long time to get right. And so, like, someone starting from a lower level probably won't. It'll probably be a long time before everybody who's starting from scratch will get all of those features, you know, just right. And so that's kind of why I like all those, different projects, you know, and, you know, a little bit of competition is nice, keeps everybody on their toes. But also we're, I think, ultimately trying to do fundamentally different things, you know, in some ways. So, and like I'm exploring a lot of things that that you're not necessarily exploring. Like I'm exploring, you know, GUI stuff, you know, like different kinds of searches and like layout stuff. And like, I mean, I really haven't dived into everything I want to do with the GUI yet. I mean, this is sort of like all prototypical, you know, user interfaces. But, you know, that's something I'm sort of like reaching the end of like all of the GDB massaging that I want to do in the short term. And then once I get that done, then I'm going to focus entirely on GUI stuff. So. Yeah. So, anyway, that's kind of what I'm working on. And what I'm working on now is I'm sort of reworking the way that this watch stuff works. So, because I kind of want it to be able to store. Well, it's kind of long and complicated. It took me like a little bit to explain, but I'm reworking the watch window sort of right now. So, all right. So, Um, the right. So I've got this GUI stuff here. Oh, and I haven't gotten a chance to try out Lisa yet. I'm meaning to, but it's been difficult to find time. But I am excited about it, and I want to congratulate you on your release. Okay, let me get back into the code for a minute here. Figure out what I'm doing. So I got this watch add function. It's not much of a release yet. It's a release. Well, I mean, I'll have to see how much it is myself, but I'm assuming it. I looked a little bit at your API, and it looks like you could do a lot of things with it. So. Okay, so we've got this guy here, and okay, so I think that's all we want. So let's do this guy, these things here, and all of this will go away. And actually, should I keep that around? No, I don't think there's anything important in there. Okay. So we got that. And then here, we are no longer looping through our watches, and we're going to be looping through the HUMBUG watches. So the core layer watches. Because I'm moving the there's like a list of watches in the core that's different than the list of watches like in the GUI side. So I've sort of like split up the API a little bit so that you could call it like a debugging engine. I guess you could say that, but yeah, I guess you could say that. I don't know. It's not the same thing as what you're working on, though. But I wanted it to have an ability where you could basically do GUI stuff without well, I don't know. It's not a well-formed thing yet, so probably I shouldn't talk about it. But I guess what I want to say is I do have a sort of like a little bit of a foundation of a separation between the actual GUI and the things and the actual core stuff that interfaces with GDB. So I'm moving the concept of a watch list from the GUI side into the core. Okay, so L for each. Here we're going to have all right, so let's do hb.watches. So this will be like hb.watches here. Let's do watch list. It's actually wrong there. Okay, so we got that. So I want to make sure that okay. Pinned frame. I guess that can stay the same here. So that's the remove button. So we need to do if watches so we just want a function that's like free. How so I'm not doing that here? So I guess I'm just leaking that memory right now. Okay, so let me do so hb.watchFree. And we'll just do a watches LC. Yeah. And then we'll remove it. Okay. From this list. Let's actually do this. Should remove. And then we'll move this down. To here. Hey, Captain Kraft. You still around? He probably left. He's a busy guy. Right. Forgot about that. Okay, so I think that's everything we want from that. Do we? Yeah, okay. Okay. And then there's also this part down here. Right, we don't need to redraw because it's already set in there. Okay, so so much distractions. Okay. So we've got this. Yeah. So we don't need any of this anymore. So done. Then over here, we want to do oh crap, I think I forgot something. Expression equals okay, so local dot name. There we go. And then here we are going to do hb.watch add result text ZZ and then right here. Okay. And so here, not here, here, do we have to change anything? So I don't think we necessarily have to change anything. I mean, obviously we're gonna have to like go through and fix the compile errors because, you know, like this GUI item thing is gonna have to go away. But I'm not exactly sure. I'll need the compiler to tell me, um, like exactly. Like I don't want to go through searching through here to find all the things that need to change. But like as far as I can tell, this GUI item isn't important for anything. Like it isn't used at all in here anymore. So I think we've actually already done a lot of the work needed to sort of simplify the GUI side of this stuff. So, so that's that. Oh. Okay, never mind. So, I was just thinking that we actually need to create a remove, like a watch remove option, but we already have watch free. So, yeah. Should really change that to a doubly linked list. But actually, I'll go ahead and do that here. Well, no, not change it to a doubly linked list because I'll do that later. But I want the watch to like remove itself, even though I could more efficiently remove it from the iterator. Feel like a good API would be, you don't want to have to call it like that. So we're going to have to, I'm going to go here and just save that as something that I'm doing here. Watch. Okay. So we're going to have HUMBUG. We need to create like a watch add. And man, I'm just gonna keep this over here. Oh, it's so distracting. My phone like blinks. Thanks for the follow, Emil Regis, on Twitter. So you got watch free here, and this needs to actually L remove watch. That does a okay. So I just want to put that in there so I don't forget about it. Okay. So we've got that. Alright, so now I actually need to like rework all the stuff in the core side of things. So So let's pull this up. Let's pull up 2 panes here. And we'll do so I'm going to put a thing here that's like not newt, because we're going to change that around theoretically. Actually, just thought of something we do need to change on the GUI side. This is no longer evaluate expression. This is so I actually think that what we want here is we actually want and we actually officially want to have the idea of expansion, or well, okay, maybe not. So like bool expanded equals expanded child range. Oh. Start is not equal to expanded child range end. So I guess we'll say that for now. And so if our button so how do we want this to work? So if this is not true, then I think we want range start No, I think we need like because we have to do stuff as part of that. So we want like HB watch expand HB item. Yeah. Set child range. Okay, let's do that. 0 to like 100. Right? And then we'll redraw. Well, crap. So, like right now, we should go ahead and set that to child count, but the thing is that we need to do some sort of like to do here where need to check if is visible. Right? Because we don't want to load items that you can't show on the screen. And okay. And I think here all we want to do is do again we need to do like more logic about like whether or not it's on the screen. But for now we will change it so that it is just to display everything. Okay. And then we have to do like render watch expression. Actually, we still need get expression child. Right. So watch get child. And then we'll pass it an index. So that's like another thing we need. Okay, so that's that. And so then over here, let's just make the new versions of these. Okay, so watch add. Okay, so it'll default to like 0. So if we set child expanded range and get child. Okay. We probably want to do some logic here that's like if, well, if watch see expanded child range start, or so if index, if child index is less than what do we call an expanded child range start, or if child index is greater than or equal to child range end, then you know, right now we'll just do an assert 0. But I also sort of like, I mean, the only reason I'm doing an assert is because I want the, I just want to know if I'm hitting that code path. But because like right now I'm not intending to, so if I did, it would be a bug. But in the general case, it wouldn't be a bug. So we'll do, so watch, you know, parent. We'll call it parent watch. Well, watch parent, whatever. And then, so we need to figure out what the new range would be. Actually, we sort of want to do different things in these different cases, right? So, so if child index is less than the range start, then we need to set watch, set child range. Okay, so child index would be the new start range, and whatever our current end would be the end range, right? And then the then if we're in this case here, we want this to be, so we want to start at child range start. And we will go until child index plus 1. Because our end is like, you know, 1 after the end. Okay, so 1 under the last index. 1 after the last index, I should say. All right, so we got that. And then I guess I'm going to do something sort of lazy right now. And do like an L for each. So what am I currently doing for get expression child? Here, oh, right. Okay, so I'm just going through and grabbing child ID, which is exactly what we want, I think. So, and here we should just assert that we got a result, because it'll always be, it would be a failure if we didn't get one. And return a result. Okay. Okay, and I'm I'm gonna go ahead and remove this as well. And actually, before I do that, I just want to do a git commit just because I want to just want to like make sure that we got everything. Right. That's the thing I didn't do. Test target. Okay. Fix. Oh. Useful commit message there. Okay. And there's someone spamming on Handmade Network. We're gonna take a break for a minute. Been streaming for an hour. I deserve a break. All right. Why does the Twitch delay so much? I don't know. All right, so that's that. I think it's just like Safari delay. Yeah, okay. Alright, so I'm back. We're doing stuff now. And I have pretzels. Pretzels for breakfast. I'm hungry. Alright, so where did we leave off? Okay, so we got this stuff. Good, alright. Yeah, I think what we want. There's no point in saying expanded child, it's redundant. So. Um. So at some point, so watch child range start equals start. Watch child range end equals end. All right, so we got that, but before we do that, we need to sort of figure out what we're going to do here with here. So we've got this guy here. So what is the syntax of our update range? And excluding 2 will be... Okay, so that does what we want. Okay, so... So... CE expression text. Okay. I got it. So... Okay. So if, okay. So start and start and here. All right, and then we've got this case here. so yeah, I gotta do this because I'm calling generated routine. Okay, so that's that, right? So to go ahead and set the child ranges and list the children. Okay. I guess we don't need to do any sort of decision making there on range and start. Okay, so now we have that. Okay, so I guess what we should do is sort of go through this thing here and be like, you know, for so if child range start is less than start, then we need to, well, okay, hold on. Yeah. We need to do a for int I or u16I equals range start Actually, no, this is just a for loop. This is just a for loop. Well, I is less than start. We need to free some stuff there. And then we'll do a, end here. We'll do n minus 1. I is less than child range and -1 I plus plus. Okay, so that gives us all removed. So this one's all the addeds, and this one's all the removes that we need to clean up. Sorry, no, these are all the removes from the beginning of the section, and this is all the removes from the end of the section. Not sure why I said that. Okay. And alright, so now we gotta, like, you know, do some sort of free thing here. So, watch free. Watch. Okay, so we got that. And no, sorry, that is not correct. So that's that. And here, chest kind of hurts. Watch get chunk. Okay. Watch free. It's good. You still need to like figure out what to do there with all that, but I think that's all the pieces. So there's, var update, right? Oh, right. So here we need to do like I'm not sure why I'm making those changes. So like if pinned thread and watched expression is error. Return null. And watch free. Watch expression. Hey Jim, how are you doing today? I am reworking the way the watches work. So, I'm sort of making it. There's a longer example. There's a longer explanation I did at the beginning of the video that you could watch. But I'm happy to explain it again, for such a loyal watcher, if you want me to. But basically, I'm moving some watch logic from the GUI side into the core side. just to try to basically have the idea of more explicit watch creation, you know, because we can't just rely on watch expressions to stay the same. Well, there's not going to be like a 1-to-1 relationship between watches that exist and like the watches that the GUI knows to ask about, right? There's going to be more because we kind of want this idea of like stale watches and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm working on now, and I think I'm getting close to being done with it. So we'll see. He might have understood this. Okay, good. Okay, so pin thread. Okay. I don't like pin thread. I'm gonna change it to thread. And frame. There we go. It's really redundant. Okay. So if thread and watch is error, then we're gonna go ahead and free, else return return watch. Okay, so that's that. So here we have okay. If is error internal bar create. Okay. Right, that's for floating. That'll work. Okay. Ignore. Okay. Okay, so where is this like recent thing that we are doing? Okay, so all we're doing here is doing var delete. Okay. So if watch is root element, then we're gonna have to do like we're gonna have to do that. Okay. So internal delete watch child. What is that doing? Okay. Okay, so I'm not exactly. Okay. So that is moving here, right? Well, actually, okay, hold on. Before I get all crazy. Okay. It gets rid of all the things that it might have. Okay. And then oh, right. So we want to do that. And then here we'll do that. Whoa. All right, so yeah, we need some sort of like thing that's like parent list, right? For now. And actually, we want to do that every time, not just in that case. So that's that. So let's go through and make sure we got everything ported over. Watch. What does kill all watches do? Oh. So this guy right here is going to work differently. Let me. I see your question, Jim. Let me answer it here in a second. Well, I've got a. Well, I sort of half remember what I was doing. Okay, var delete. And then instead of doing lc.rm, we're going to do lc.i stale equals true. Yeah. Okay. And I was going through watch stuff, so I need to continue doing that. Is the input tab, Jim O asks, Jim, I shouldn't say Jim O, unless it is Jim O, but I don't think it is. I think it's just Jim, with like the, the eyes. Quick question. Is the input from tab supposed to be disabled in 4Coder? I can copy and paste tab data, but the button tab does nothing. So I do believe that is the default. I'm just Jim with gray face. Okay. So I do believe that is correct. Although the tab key shouldn't do nothing. Let's. So for me, just for the record, like if I do like, D tab, it'll like just tab through everything that starts with D, right? And so like that should be the default if you're in a language, if you're coding in something that 4Coder understands or is attempting to understand. So if we go to right here, tab. Right. So here's this, right? Like if you want it to like literally make a tab, I think you just comment that out, right? Which would essentially be doing the same thing as like let's see here. Is there like a thing that's like literal? No. Um, there is a right character. Right character. Maybe. I don't know. You might want to do some digging, but I think like there's like an actual thing that 4Coder ships with that's called right character that will just do the normal thing with the keyboard. I think that's what it does, and that's the default. But if you wanted to like override it or do some conditional logic or something, then you could like switch between doing that and right character. So, but tabs are dumb. Why are you using tabs? God damn. Spaces are where it's at. Seriously. You really don't know what you're doing if you're using tabs. I'm just kidding. I used tabs for a long time. I actually have no idea what I use these days. I just hit I just hit tab in 4Coder and it usually does what I want. So actually I just hit spacebar twice. That's what I do. Okay. Whatever. For the record, I was just joking about tabs and spaces. Because I know that people get caught up into that. And, you know, I was caught up into it with it for a while because, you know, at one point in time, I had a job where I was doing code review. I was, like, overseeing a team of people. And we were doing code reviews. And I was, like, one of those, like, Nazi, you know, people who were like, you have to use tabs. Because, and it's not because, like, I thought tabs were better. It's just that everybody had to do the same thing because it made reading the diffs easier. And if, like, somebody, like, changed to spaces or something halfway through the thing, it made, like, the diff unreadable. Or you'll get a whole bunch of lines coming back that changed that, you know, weren't relevant or anything like that. So, but, like, you know, now, like, you know, Git has this nice, this was before Git, and we had, well, actually, I think Git was out at the time, but we were using BZR. But you know, like, now there's, like, nice tools that will, like, ignore white space and all that stuff. You know, but, like, now, like, I've sort of, like, changed a lot of my opinions since then. So, you know, now I would not care. Like, if you're a good developer writing good code, I would do anything that I could do to, like, make it so that it would be less friction for you. You know, like, if you're doing tabs, then, like, I'll adjust to whatever I can do to make it easier for, you know, you or whatever. So um okay, so anyway, I'm not in charge of anyone other than myself right now. And I'm actually a lot happier that way because I like coding and I like solving problems and stuff like that. And like, you know, in that position that I was in when I was talking about, like, I didn't get to do any coding. I like spent the entire time like trying to explain to other people what they should code. And I never got to do any coding myself. So this is you know, it's sort of like, you know, it's a, you know, technically a less prestigious position, but it's something I'm more happy in. So that's kind of, you know, maybe like a life lesson there is that, you know, just because you got promoted doesn't mean that it's going to be a better job. Okay, so, and you know, different people are good at different things, you know, so, or enjoy different things, I should say. I mean, people are good at different things as well. Okay, so what the crap was I doing? Or I think I was searching this entire file for anything watch related that I forgot to handle. Internal search for sub-expression. Right. I think that's something that the generated routines run and use. So here's the new code. Here's the beginning of the new stuff. Update watches. So I think that this is old code now. Could be wrong. This has been replaced. And this here. Oh, okay. This has not been handled yet. Okay, so that's deleting this stuff. So what do we want to have happen after we stop? Yeah, I don't think we want to do that anymore because we have explicit deletes. Um, okay, that just makes everything stale. That's good. And process commands. Okay, watch. Okay. So this needs to go away now, I believe. Yeah. Okay. And so let's clean up some of our struct members here. So here's our watched expression. And we don't care about hit recently. So, not. And let's just see where we are at in terms of compile errors. Right. Okay, so yeah, those are just things here that we need to deal with. Okay, so I think that we still actually need this one. But this one, I believe, is gone. And that one we still need. And so evaluate expression is gone as well. And that one is gone as well. What about internal var create? Yeah, so we're still using that one. But we're going to put that one down here as well because it is related. So child, internal var list children. Is that still a thing we need? I'm not sure. Let's find out. Yes, that is still something we need. Okay, so, and then we just need to add the new ones, right? So that is here. So that we have watch add here. And then we had watch free, we have watch free. And then we have watch set child range. All right, and then we have watch internal get child. Okay, and watch get child. Okay. And so now we need like definitions for all these things. So what are the ones we got rid of? Delete child. So that one is going to go into the garbage pile. And evaluate expression. Right there. That one's going away. And what do we got? Expression child. Expression. There we go. And then what are these other ones here? So we have update watches after stop. I just sort of am going to move them to put them close together. Update watches just after stop. Okay, and we'll put that one together as well. And internal var create. These two here. Internal var list children. So then it's our new ones. Right there. Okay. So we've got a bunch of these, right? I'm going to go ahead and just copy this list so I have it up there. For a moment. And then, so we've got what? Watch add. Watch free. Watch set child range. Right. And watch internal get child. And then we have watch get child. Okay, so we got all those. And now let's see what we got. Oh, right. Watch list free. Okay, so right. So this here, watched expressions. So this is going to be changed to watched list Watch list all free. Watch list. Right, okay. Oh, I should just go through here, and I never looked through the spec file for stuff that was going to be needed to be changed. Okay, so we have parse var create here. So just got a bunch of stuff here. Parse var update. So this is called watch list now. Okay. Watch list. All right. Right. Okay, so starting to get into the realm of parameters that need adjusting. So, right. So watch add needs a char star for expression text. All right, watch free. Oh, right. Okay, so expression text frame. So what's that? It's like a U16 thread and frame. There we go. Okay, so and then also here in the member, this is just frame and thread now. Right. So here we will. So this needs a return type. Oh. Yeah. So that's that. Yeah. And also get child is like this now. Yeah, and then U16 child index. That's the same thing as this. Set range on this needs to be like U16 start, U16 end. Great. This is watch. Watch. Oh, and we still need this. I'm not sure what I was thinking. This needs like a parent object here. And here as well. And then we need to go add that as thing. Oh, right. This needs a thing. So, let's do watch expression star list. Contained list. Here is and then we'll pass it the watch list. Watch children. Right. Needs the address. Is that so I'll remove taking a reference. Yes, it is. Watch. Right, okay, so that's new. Child count. Okay, so yeah, so we need a U16 child range start U16 child range. And there we go. Okay, so this is what? Watch list L3. Oh. Yep. Expected to have one. Right. Expected to have one. Okay, so right. Okay, so where is that? That is here. Okay, so yes, this means god damn it. So it needs the contained list. Okay. As well. Something I didn't think about. So child range. That needs to take a watched expression star contained list. What are we at? Internal var, internal child get. Okay. Parent. 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 Okay. Watch. Right, parent. 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 Expected for have 3. Set child range. Right. So, what's the call signature? Right, contained list. Okay, so wait a minute. Did I mess up? I think I messed up. Set child range. Free. No. We do not need contained list. We already know it because we have the parent object. So that was a mistake. Getting sloppy here. Okay, so what is this? Watch children. There we go. Oh, right. Ampersand. Use of undeclared identifier, watch expression. What is it called now? Oh, right. This is just watch list. List. Pin thread becomes thread. So does pin frame. Child start. Oh, we're in the GUI code now. Awesome. We've moved on. Child range. Start. Where? Set child range here. Expanded. Yeah, okay, so what are we going to do here? Oh, also, while we're here, I'm going to do watch, render watch expression here, and we're going to do that. And yeah. All right, so instead of doing this here, we are going to do HB item child range start right there. Okay, and then child I is okay, child range end right there, +1. Yeah, and then then that's that. Okay. No more GUI item. Okay, that's good. No member name pin thread. Okay, so it's thread now. Right, no more evaluate expression. Right. Okay, so this is distracted. Okay. And then Okay, so we've got that. Where are we at? Oh, okay. So there's no evaluate expression. So it's just we don't even need this anymore, right? Yeah. And this is so use of undeclared watched expression. Yeah, I think this is just this now. Watches all free. Okay. HB watches list. The address of that. Undeclared identifier frame. What was this before? Oh, right. Okay. Thread GDB ID. Okay, that's good. And then frame is frame index. And HB get expression child. That's something new now. That's watch get child, right? Yeah, okay. HB item child I, okay. And then that is yeah, okay, so that's broken right now. But we're gonna comment that out. Because it never, I mean, we're gonna have to figure out a different way to save the state. Nice, and we built and we compiled. Are we crashed? We are crashed. All right, so why are we crashed? I don't know. Let's see here. PDL error. Why does that never work? Do you have to do like this? Yeah, why does that never just work how you'd expect it to? Update watches just after stop. Did we remove that? So here I am. So what did that function used to do? Right? Update watches just after stop. It was going through and deleting stuff, and we don't need to do that anymore. Okay, so that's fine. So we're just gonna get rid of that. It's no longer needed. And so this is this guy here. And we don't need this anymore. We don't need. Yeah, let me just go do a search for after stop. Yeah, let's get rid of that guy. That guy. Well, I'll just. It's an enum in the middle, so I'm just going to. I mean, I should probably remove it, but that was just on reflex. Okay, so what's going on here? Okay, so we don't need this queued command anymore. Let's get rid of that. What, this is in stop? Yeah, this is in stop. So there we go. Can we run? Do we crash? We do run. Okay, can we load up a file without crashing? Yes, we can. Okay, can we... I assume search still works because we never touched that. Let's see here. So let's do like global variable. So global variable 5, okay? So it works. There. What happens if I remove it? Then that's fine. It works, okay. Global, okay, so now I should be able to do like multiple, right? Of the same one. I mean, not that that's especially useful right now, but yeah. All right, so that works. And then if we do test struct here, nope, we crash. We do what's going on? So we didn't crash. So I assume we're stuck in some sort of spin loop here. We're stuck in a right. What? Oh, man. All right. We have some sort of weird recursion error. So intern of var list children. I think I know what I did. All right, so Handmade Hero just started, so I'm gonna quit. I will probably continue in a little bit. 3 hours, nice. Feel like we got a decent amount of work done. I still want to finish up this stuff later, so I'll probably do it as soon as the the pre-stream ends. So, all right, later.